demon keeps dreaming of a demon town. Motherfucker, bitch, fuck, shit went down. Fleming's got an itch, scratch it with a bitch. Demon keeps dreaming of a demon town. Ooh, Johnson, that's my name.
Hello there, Seraphim17 once again, introducing you to my Shadows of the Damned Satanic Hell difficulty video walkthrough. This is the level 4-3, this is entitled Ghost Hunter. This is one of the longest levels of the game, and one of the more challenging ones. So, at the start you're going to be introduced to a new enemy. This is the new enemy number 1 guy. he's a shocking dude, and he relies on these little pillars that are littered around the environment to attack you, and he'll teleport between them. And the way to kill him is to get rid of all the pillars and then to attack him directly. You want to be careful though, because as you can see, the guy's a cheap bastard, and he managed to hit me then. You can do this fight very easily without taking any damage, as long as you're not a retard like I am, but I end up getting hit there, so it's my mistake. But as soon as you see them drop the electric field, it means you can kill them. Make sure you shoot them with a powerful weapon, because this gun is a piece of shit on my run through, so I don't know why I'm shooting him like this. I should just charge up the secondary fire and hit him with that, but instead I'm going to sponge him with the stationary pistol and just get nothing. So there's one guy left, and he's probably going to be in these stacks, because there's one of the poles I've not destroyed. There it is. As soon as I take that out, he should be all only electrified. Hit him with the secondary fire, and that is a one-hit kill usually. So there you go, the first two guys are down, and then we can progress on through the rest of the level. And one of the most disappointing parts of this game for me is how much the opera singing lady who's scantily clad, who's walking around with like the fucking hoovers strapped to her legs and things, how she spends so much time taunting you through the game. She seems like she's such an important character, and then you end up killing her off in a boss fight in one of the 2D shooting worlds. It's like, if there's anything more anticlimactic than, you know, having an assailant through the entire game constantly be one step ahead of the main character, and when you want to finally have a resolution and a conclusion against her and push her shit in, you do it in a 2D side-scrolling shooting minigame bullshit. It's just, that is not a good idea to me. That is definitely not the best aspect of this game. But what's going to be happening here is we're going to be moving through this library building, and each room we go to is going to be named after a different circle of hell. And because it's obviously the 7 circles of hell from Dante Alighieri's poem, or whatever the guy's name is. And all it is a bunch of different fights in a bunch of different rooms. Some of them are quite challenging. For the most, they're pretty simple. But just be aware there's going to be a lot of combat on this section. There's going to be a lot of killing, and you're going to be coming up against a lot of enemies together. So this is your time to, you know, to either get really good at the game or start to see the game over screen quite frequently. It is entirely up to you. But I'm not going to talk too much about these moments, because they're very simple. It's just killing dudes we've been killing for the most of the game, and you don't really need that much help with it, because it's very simple to do, luckily enough. Just, you know, rinse, repeat, kick some ass. Do your thing, as I say. So at this moment in time, my rental service has sent me 2 games that are practically fucking identical when it comes to what kind of games they are. And although the games themselves may be, you know, completely different, they're both the same kind of theme, and the 2 games I have at this moment in time are Fable 3 and Dragon Age 2. So you're probably thinking those 2 games have nothing in common, but what they do have in common is A, I can't do shit with them when it comes to YouTube, because aside from doing balls deeps, and the games themselves are, you know, pretty standard affairs and something that you've got to play for a long amount of time to really get any benefit from. It's like, it's almost like they know that I want 2 games at the same time that will both take about 50 hours to beat and get everything on, where you've got to completely obsess and play and do ridiculous side quests on. It's like, no, I don't want that. I only put those on the list because I want to eventually play them. I don't want them at the same fucking time, because then it's all or nothing. It's not, you know, I'll play this one and then I'll go back to this filler game that I can spend, you know, 20 minutes on and have fun. Instead, I've got to spend 20 minutes listening to a dialogue tree and then be told about the entire lore of the damn universe. And it's just a bit annoying, but what I started first is I started Fable 3 first, and I'm not the biggest Fable fan. I didn't like the first one, I hated the second one, and the third one, it just makes me question who these games are really for. And has anybody got an idea where that guy goes? Because you see him when you kick down the wall, and then he vanishes. It's strange. But Fable 3 itself, who buys this game? Who is this game for? Because it's like, if it wasn't for some of the writing and some of the humour in the game, this is, by all intents and purposes, a fucking kid's game. This is like a Sesame Street game, because there is absolutely no challenge in any of it. It's like you've got a constant breadcrumb trail, which is extremely glitchy at times, pointing you to where you need to be. Everything looks cartoony and childish. It's like, they say it's an RPG, even though it's the mildest RPG I've ever seen, where the entire world is connected on a very fucking linear path, and everything you need you can get when you press start, and John Cleese tells you where to get it from. It's like, who buys this game? The combat is boring, it's one fucking button, and it's easy. The enemies are the same enemies you've been killing on every single Fable game, and they're nowhere near as, you know, more interesting or harder or more entertaining than they were the first time you fought them, and the first time you fought them, they were a bag of shit anyway. It's like, I don't get who this game is for. I really don't. It just baffles me, because it's not that it's bad. It feels like a Sims game. It feels like a game that's not really a fucking game. It feels like it should be on Facebook. It's just weird. And some of the writing is kind of funny. The whole real estate angle of, you know, purchasing places and putting up the rent and putting up the prices and getting your income back, and that stuff is fun because it's cool and it's interesting, and the, you know, the fact that you can do all the relationships and that, it's not really my cup of tea, but it's cool that they've put it in there. It's just, who wants one button combat? One button combat is fucking redundant. Some games can do it really well, but others don't, and it's like, I don't understand who's buying this game, and I don't understand how these games get such rave reviews, because there's nothing there. The charm and the humour is great, don't get me wrong, it's very quaint, it's very English, but, you know, humour doesn't make a game, humour makes a fun DVD. It's like, it's got to be more, it's got to have the gameplay to back it up, and the gameplay of these games, it's the same thing it was in the second one, it really is. The only difference now is they're putting a little bit more management on it, and I'm baffled, I really am. I've played it for about 4 hours, and it's just, to me, it doesn't feel like a game. It just feels like pure filler, and it's a shame because they get such wide acclaim, and everybody seems to love them. And like, I've got friends that bought this shit the day it came out. If I bought this shit the day it came out, I would feel like, you know, I would feel robbed. I would feel totally fucking robbed, because I don't know. It's something that I can play when I don't want to think about anything, because it's that simple and it's that dumbed down. It plays the game for you. It's just weird, and I don't understand it. So if you're a massive advocate for Fable and you see something that I'm not seeing, please feel free to say what you like about the game, because I'm just at that point where it's like, I'm playing it for achievements. That's what I'm doing. Because if it wasn't for the fact that it's a well put together piece of content, because I'm not going to call it a game, because in my eyes it fucking ain't. It's just a real estate simulator with mild light combat and some ridiculous plot threads that have led to me doing all kinds of different things that have generally lasted about 10 minutes and been half interesting. But, you know, just show me the way to make this game fun, guys. Just drop me the one technique that you do. And if you mention having sex with people without a condom to spawn kids, please tell me how you can kill the kids, because I'm contemplating killing my wife because she's pissing me off now, because I keep getting updates from her. Couldn't care less at all. Would really like to, you know, burn my house down when they're both asleep in it. I know that sounds sick, but I had no interest in getting into it. I didn't realise what I was doing. I just wanted to have a bit of fun, and next thing you know, kid comes along and I'm married. But yeah, just keep moving through the circles of hell here. Keep taking dudes down, and be careful, because as you've just seen, that guy didn't even hit me, and it's still classed as a hit, which is annoying and frustrating. But what can you do? It's Shadows of the Damned. And right there, how overpowered is that roll? The dude jumps into me mid-attack, I do a roll, and I hurt him. It's very rare that you get a move that is that powerful, and I thank Suda51 for giving us from the start. Because that's one of the hardest things about Ninja Gaiden when you play it on the harder difficulties. They make it longer between moves. For instance, if you play on normal, you get the Azuna drop very early. You play on hard, you get it a lot later, and the Azuna drop is the most overpowered thing on the game that makes every fight pretty much simple if you can do it to them. And just by making it, you know, 2 hours longer to get the move, makes that game a hell of a lot harder. And I don't even want to know what Master Ninja is going to be like, because you just know you're not going to get the guillotine throw or the counter attack until like level 7 or something stupid, and the Azuna drop's probably going to be on the last level. But just keep killing dudes, keep rinsing and repeating. doing your thing. And yeah, there's an achievement for doing all the execution moves on the enemies as well, so it is well worth getting into the cycle of doing the executions. They are overpowered, super useful, and they save you a ton of ammo. What more could you want from your game? Oh, that's a critical. A headshot through a bookcase, that's got to be worth something. Back to the gameplay though, what you really want to be doing at this moment in time is stockpiling as many healing items as you can, because the next fight coming up is a long and quite challenging one. And when I first did it on Legion Hunter, I used pretty much all my healing items against the boss, because I get very irrational sometimes when I play games, and I just got to that point where I was getting hit so much I just thought fuck it, and I was just using healing items like they were going out of style. And it ended up screwing me a little bit, because I didn't have much for the next section of the game. But luckily enough, you don't need healing items that much, if you're going to play the game well. This section here is kind of bullshit. When those shutters go up, she's going to turn up and more of those electric dudes are going to pop up, and you've got to destroy the plinths again, those crazy like tiny obelisk contraptions that they can teleport between. And what you want to watch, as soon as you see the enemy move his arms backwards, it means he's going to hit you with the electricity. So if you want to dodge the attack, as soon as you see one of them do that, it means they're going to attack you. That's when you need to start rolling like a madman. There was the arm movement, there was the attack. Dodge it, go back to shooting the plinth things. As soon as you shoot them, you'll have them pretty much dead to rights, then you can finish them off with a well-placed explosive shot from the hot boner. And just be careful, the radius on the explosion is quite wide, and it will hurt you if you get stuck in it. But that is a lovely quick way of dealing with those two guys. It's a bit of a cheap fight, the game kind of throws it at you like a curveball, but as soon as you know what you're doing, it's very simple, and you can carry on going through the rest of the circles of hell. And luckily enough, the next few are not too bad. Like this one here, that guy's going to darken the room, as you've just seen. As long as you can keep killing him, the next guy will queue up to darken the room, and you can just keep chain killing these guys, because they're not very smart, luckily enough. They're a little bit dumb. And there you go. More bullshit. Oh, another one going to try and make the room dark. Once again, his scripting is, his priority level is definitely shut off the lights as opposed to kill me. So luckily enough, he could have had a free shot, but instead he's too busy trying to spray his black mess everywhere, like the pedophile that he is. But I've been reading about the Final Fantasy 13 too, and I don't think you'll ever meet anybody who hated Final Fantasy 13 as much as I did. And I'm going to put this in context, because I'm not the guy that played it for 10 minutes and then said it was the worst game ever made and put it down. I'm the guy that got every achievement except for the achievement for collecting every single item, because I missed out on it by selling one item I could not get back early on in the game to make money, and thus screwing myself out of the game, out of the achievement, sorry. So I played that game a whole bunch more than I wanted to, because it's probably the worst Final Fantasy ever made. And 13.2 I have almost no interest with, but the more I read about it, the more it's kind of like, maybe it could have some redeeming qualities. And I'm not buying it day one, because I know I'm probably going to hate it, but it's actually turning into a probable rental, because it's got this whole monster capturing aspect to it, this whole Pokemon thing, and there's a couple of different mechanics that might actually make it a hell of a lot more fun than the last one. Because if you think about it, they have the engine that they built for Final Fantasy 13. It took them forever to do, so they've got a terrific engine. They've got a decent, fighting system. It's not the best combat mechanics from a Final Fantasy, but it's not the worst, at least. And all they have to do now is build a better game around the assets they already have. So this could be really fun. It could be a really decent, addition to the series, or it could be a giant steaming pile of shit like the last one. We will find out very shortly, because it comes out in January. But it's just a little bit disheartening when you come from a background like I do of playing the best Final Fantasies and appreciating them for what they were, and then to play that, which in all intents and purposes should be the best one ever made, because it's had the most money put into it, the most people behind it, and probably the biggest development cycle. And it just, what were they doing, man? What did they think they were doing when they made that game? And if I could be a fly on the wall in those development meetings and I could speak fluent Japanese, I would really like to just get to the base of that problem, because sure, they did lose some pretty heavy hitters a few years back who went and formed Miss Walker, but at the same time they have a wealth of reference that is significantly better than the game that they made. It baffles me, guys. How did that game get made the way it was? I don't get it. But there you go. The next level is going to be a boss fight. It's going to be an interesting boss fight. I will see you there. But until then, thanks for watching, thanks for listening, and you take care now.